start with the Speedboat finals for January to February. And I have two excellent commentators here. We have Pixie and Eustachio, who won the previous edition of the Speedboat. So, yeah, how are you guys doing?
Doing good today. Excited to see this match finally happen and see who takes away my title.
Yeah, they were close to putting you in and you getting to defend your title, right?
Yeah, Jackson showed up a little bit late, so they were looking for a sub, but I'm glad he finally made it. He deserved to be here, and so I'm glad he'll get a chance to take it this time.
Yep. So over here we have got our players, and Imperialistic Hamilton would be Jackson. So as for the rest, we have got Conk or Jordan Connors, who is also a really strong gunboat player. We have JJ, Riaz, Borjigan, who won the very first edition of the Speedboat, and we have Ed, who's or Go Horns Go, who was commentating the last edition and is now playing in the final himself. And we have Pez Demer, who is longtime Nexus admin and previous Nexus champion. So all very strong players, and this should be an interesting finals. Okay, we have got Spring 01 here, and I don't know, how do we want to do this? Do we want to do West, East, or?
I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
That works.
Sure.
Which side of the board do you want, Pixie?
I think I'm a bit of a preference for the East, to be honest.
Okay, I'll take West then. So in the West, we have an opening to the English Channel from England there. And France had a little bit of an interesting opening, going to Picardy and Burgundy, while only sending the fleet towards those Iberian neutral centers. So France certainly has a say in Belgium here, or could maybe take a shot at Munich, but has to think about whether they want to cover Brest or not with that army in Picardy. So German opening, just standard stuff. They have to decide whether they want to get involved in Belgium or just protect Munich here. But it'll be interesting to see whether they decide to bounce Russia and Sweden with England opening against France there.
Definitely. And then I think the South, the most interesting part of the South for me is Italy and Turkey. Turkey is doing what was kind of popular in January, February, when was it you, Staushu, who actually like wrote up the public article about things? I can't recall offhand. But this was definitely high up, very like hold Smyrna, give yourself these options, make Italy, do they really want a Lepanto? That kind of a situation. But then Italy is actually open to Tyrolia, which with France and Burgundy and maybe a little bit of greed, could we find Italy and Munich at the end of the year is a question that I'm kind of asking myself right now.
Yeah.
What do you think about the? Oh, sorry, you go on.
No, go ahead. I just, that's interesting about Munich there. I'm keeping an eye on it.
Yep. Do you guys think that's like a good option for Italy?
I love this opening as Italy. It's probably the one I play 75% of the time, because it gives you options for a dot in Munich, Vienna, Trieste if you need it, but you can still do Lepanto moves. You can still this if you decide to. It gives you flexibility. And I do like borrowing Munich from Germany if I have the opportunity.
I definitely agree. I've suffered from the Italy walking up to Warsaw before as Russia, so that's there as well. And like the only real weakness is no pressure on France per se, but with England opening to the channel being both very common and literally happening, not much of a concern.
Yeah, if you'd asked me to predict before this game sort of what the openings would be, I don't think I'd have called England going to the channel, because just this being sort of like a finals game, I feel like people are more prone to doing the go big or go home plays, and usually for England that involves opening north. But if France does this, it's not the worst idea to be in the channel, right? So yeah, shall we move on to the fall?
Sounds good.
Okay, I love this.
Well, I guess the Munich idea wasn't just ours, but it appears France didn't get the memo.
Wow. I mean, it's not actually bad for France, because England is just building one, and France does get to build two. Pretty surprisingly, but got juked with England going to Mao, so I think that's a fair play from England. But it can end up really bad if England doesn't get builds fast enough, and then France just kicks you out of Mao, and then Germany starts building a third fleet too, because why not? And then soon you have a lot of problems. But we'll see.
Yeah, the Germans supporting Russia into Sweden there is pretty interesting because as England, you do not like to see that when you're taking a gamble putting that fleet in Mao. And um, yeah, I don't love the way this board is shaping up for England, to be honest. I would have probably tried to keep France honest with Brest, just to make sure they're not too strong going into the next year. But there's a lot of flexibility still in the West. Germany can align with whoever they want, really, and that's always a nice place to be in the final, having choices. But it's going to come to a point pretty soon where they have to decide one way or the other and make a commitment. But I think we'll see some interesting balance of power play moving forward.
Yeah,
What do you
as far
make
as
of
this,
go on? Yep.
no, I was just going to jump into the South, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually gonna go to the south as well, but I was gonna say, what do you make of Turkey choosing to shift that fleet out into the Med?
I think they're showing the scars of having seen many in Austrian Italian alliance before. It doesn't. I mean, it's questionable as to whether that's going to really help you in the next like year as far as staying in the Balkans. But if you're kind of looking for, I'm going to tell Italy to go screw yourself. Austria gets everything, and then hopefully Russia can hold down enough that I can just play until 1904, 1905, and then see what else has happened. That's what this reads as to me, because I would expect like a support into Aegean in the spring.
Yep. Yeah, this opening with Smyrna hold before, just because I like holding Smyrna, or maybe going to Syria, and then tried to go into the black in the fall anyways, and then sometimes Russia just decides that I must have been trying to work with them, so they that means they can go to the black, right? And then I end up not being in the black, and Russia ends up not being in the black, and we end up both dying pretty quickly. So it hasn't gone the best, but this way of like going out into the Med, going to the Aegean is probably the more advisable play if you were going to do Smyrna hold, to be fair. Yeah, I'm very interested to see how things shape up around Munich, because people always, I mean, I've always said, if you're Italy, what are you doing attacking Germany? You can't hold the dots, and it's probably not the best idea to have Germany dead, because that just doesn't end up great for Italy most of the time. But in a meta where Germany has been doing very well, I think maybe there's some rationale behind it. So we'll see.
Who do you think had the best first year?
I think compared.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like compared to the average of their country, Russia had the best first year, just because any first year where Russia can get both Sweden and Rum, and basically not be attacked excessively by anyone is a great first year for Russia. But like in terms of who's in the best position, I wouldn't say it's Russia. So.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's everything went right for Russia this year. They're still not the strongest power, but it's as good as you could hope if you're playing them. I think France had a very good first year. They had the opportunity to put Italy into Munich there and still get Belgium, but they probably made a friend by vacating Burgundy, taking Belgium for themselves, getting 2 builds, And I think they're going to see some pretty strong development over the next year or two with Turkey putting those fleets out. Italy's going to be occupied, so France is going to be able to focus north on England. And usually that leads to a very good game for France.
Would you ally France here if you were Germany?
I'm not sure. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, but at the same time, I don't know if England is in a strong enough position to work with them, because I mean you have Russia and Sweden now, so it's going to be a little bit complicated to resolve that situation if you're taking on France and Russia at the same time to some degree. Maybe you try to keep things stable in Scandinavia while focusing on France. That's a possibility. But yeah, I don't know.
What if you flip that question?
Tough decision.
What if you flip that question? If you're France here, do you ally Germany? Because you've seen, right, an offer to Russia in the north. It kind of depends, like, is something going to appear in St. Petersburg and what appears, right, to an extent. But you might be able to play the player more than play the board here and really get an England that's grateful that you haven't just, like, run right up their backside.
That's true. That's actually a pretty good point, because England can't love their situation here with that fleet so far from Scandinavia and they're going to have to protect with North. And so you could have a very grateful ally if you let them off the hook for their early foray into MAO.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Makes me
look
want
at
to
the
see
build.
builds.
Yeah. See what they say. Huh. Maybe England trying to patch things up with France?
Looks like they're trying to. I don't know what France thinks, but I mean, Fleet Brest is sensible in any case. I mean, that's an expected build. It can go different directions. Yeah, I mean, Fleet Kiel, it's signaling that Germany does not want to work with England here. So that'll be interesting how that develops, if it's 3-on-1 in the north western corner, or if France decides to make up with England and make it a fair fight in that region.
Yeah, Russia did the army St. Petersburg, and I was kind of hoping for this. Because Germany, by like allying Russia and then also trying to woo France, has put themselves in an awkward build position, right? Because it's either there's an army in Munich, right? Or there's not going to be a fleet in Berlin, right? You can't immediately go after Sweden unless you kind of want to try to be like, I'm sorry, England, I didn't mean it, I didn't mean it. But where does that army Berlin go now? It just kind of sits there. And I think Russia might take this opportunity to try to be like, England, warmer waters down south.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Like in press, I get myself in this position where I try to play too many angles diplomatically, and that sort of seems like what Germany's doing here. But you can't talk to people here to ease their fears, and so you could get both players a little bit uneasy about Germany and who they really want to work with here. That Army St. Petersburg leaves Russia flexible to do different things here. So, yeah, it's a complicated situation diplomatically here. So I'm interested to see how year 2 goes.
All right. Well, let's have a look at the spring.
Huh.
I hate that by France so much.
Yeah.
I say never self-bounce as a meme, right? But in this situation, you really shouldn't be self-bouncing, because this is what happens. Like, just getting a unit blown up in spring is so bad for you. And if you're self-bouncing carelessly in situations like this, then you get a unit blown up in the spring.
Who cares about Burgundy here? Just support Belgium, and if Germany goes to Burgundy, you know where you stand, and you can react accordingly. You have units to cover everything. Also forcing MAO with the retreat to Spain. I don't know.
France blocking the retreat to Gascony and not blocking the retreat to Spain is just bizarre, in my opinion.
And why fleet Portugal as the mover, because if you move Brest, then you can recover Spain right away.
Yep. Yep.
I,
So many questions. I hate this turn by France, but okay.
I liked France's first year a lot, but
Yeah.
this took a serious downturn. But England, I mean, they're taking a pot shot at Brest. They're trying to get into Skag. They're okay, so it looks like they're trying to ally Russia. I see the signal from Norway there, and it looks like Russia kind of got the memo with St. Petersburg vacating, and Germany is moving to Baltic there. So nobody knows where they stand really. Nobody has an ally in the West. Maybe England and Russia, but nobody else is happy with
Yep.
neighbors. So this is going to be messy. It'll be interesting to see what type of signals are sent in the fall and who tries to make nice with whom.
Yeah, I'm
you want
kind
to
of.
take the East? Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're good. You're good. In the East, I'm a little surprised. So the reason I mentioned the supported move to Aegean before is not only are you attempting to bounce it, right, but you also give Bulgaria somewhere to go. In the off chance that Italy changes their mind, they don't end up in Eastern Med. It just, as you talked about, it has a fleet there, but it appears to have worked out just fine here. So maybe I'm play Turkey too much as a sort of a rollback and closely hold my 3 centers and then just hope other things happen. Other than that, we all knew where Moscow was going. It's interesting that St. Petersburg follows, if only for does Sev leave if in a year or two things become somewhat inevitable there, right? You try to rotate down because they can hold it for another year thanks to Turkey's defensive play. Yeah. And then Lepanto.
Yeah.
Nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Who do you guys
Russia
like the
is
most?
really interesting position here. They have a lot of options here.
What do I like the most? I actually, my heart wants to say Austria because they've got an Italian that's working with them and then also preoccupied with messing around in Munich.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that? Munich, another bounce.
I mean, I just don't know what it's trying to accomplish. Like, I guess why not? Like, what else is that army gonna do? But right now, what it feels like it's doing, it's waiting until an Austrian dot becomes likely to be vacated, and then just waiting to walk in. Like that's what it feels like the goal of that army is. Like, yeah. I doubt it's gonna capture Munich anytime soon, and even if it did, it's not gonna hold it. So.
On that matter, Trieste to Serbia rather than Albania is interesting.
Yep.
So, like, I mean, technically, Venice is within reach here, but I doubt Austria would do that. But they obviously have an eye over their shoulder on that Army Tyrolia. I don't think they want to give up one of their dots even temporarily.
Yep.
So, I think I'm ready for fall if you guys are.
Yeah, right. I want to see what happens.
Also, Karthik might be coming in a while, depending on, because he just woke up. So it depends on whether he decides to show up. But all right, shall we look at the fall?
Yeah, decent guess by Turkey here. I think I can speed through a bit of the south. So the odds of them trying to guess that you would convoy to Smyrna is low. You can get some mind reads if you play people a bunch and kind of see that thing. But cutting the expected move to Aegean from Ionian, which is what Austria tried to support, I think is pretty reasonable. So it's good defensive play. Live to see another year with 4 centers, which is really all you can ask for, especially with Italian now out of Eastern.
Tyrolia goes back to Venice. Yeah.
When it finally could have had Munich.
Yeah. I'm starting to really like Germany. It's just,
yeah.
He called that Italy wouldn't be tapping it this time, and he was right. So.
Germany giving signals to everybody now.
Yep.
Go back to Venice. Go to English Channel. Let me take Skag. This is This is an ambitious Germany.
It is.
It is. And England, on the other hand, is in Spain, but signaling that they want France to go to west, but they're at the same time trying to hit the channel. I don't quite understand what England's trying to accomplish there. They do get a build here, but I mean, if you're going to the channel, why not tap MAO and cut that support? I mean, it's not like it's just going to let you into MAO by moving. So I don't know. I don't quite understand what England's going for here. I think they're in a tough position, and it's probably going to go south for them fairly soon, despite getting that build from Spain. Although France is disbanding here, though, right?
Yeah, France is pulling.
Nah, it popped, I think.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
you're right.
Belgium.
You're right.
That's not so good for England, and really good for Germany. Wow.
Yeah, I think England was too afraid of Mount moving or something strange happening. So
Yeah.
maybe France freaks out and goes to Portugal and Marseille to be like, I won't let you, and then
Yeah.
Spain ends up in Mao.
Yeah.
You go, crap. But I think that's a little too scared for a final. Not that I've ever been at one, of course, but
I feel like
we all agreed Germany here.
England should have just bounced Skag again, because you know Germany's getting ambitious there, and I don't know. I feel like that's the biggest danger on the board right now, whereas France is, I mean, they don't have a bad position, but they lost Belgium, and I would have viewed that as an opportunity to make peace and to unite against Germany. Russia obviously is not working with Germany either. You try to create as many enemies for the biggest power as you can, but as it
I would
stands,
not have agreed with I wouldn't have expected Germany to go into Skag. I don't think that should have been predicted, because I feel like Germany kind of has to support whole Denmark here. It's Denmark that Sweden should be offering support into. So
yeah, that's true.
because
Yeah, that or you would do like Berlin convoy to Sweden supported by Denmark, maybe try to catch Sweden cutting, the ball support or something. Right.
I mean, there's no way that Norway wouldn't support Sweden here, right? So I feel like
Right.
any attack on Sweden is a bit ill-advised, but I mean, Germany did well. He guessed correctly everywhere. He's building. He has position. So I like Germany.
Yeah. I'd put them and Russia on the top of my power rankings right now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's see winter.
Army Kiel, Army London. What do you make of that?
Huh.
Yeah, huh? That's right.
Well, so if we assume, right, that England, like not moving Spain, was playing scared, Army London just means that they're still scared of the FG, and I think they were so scared of the FG that they're going to cause it to happen.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I mean, it gives you the best defensive options, which keeps you in the game, but you don't have a lot of flexibility here. That Fleet Eddy is just doing nothing, and it's going to hurt in the upcoming years. I'm not even sure how you try to rearrange here, or what you do with that rogue fleet in Spain. It feels like they're forcing, yeah, like you said, they're making reality what their fear is. I don't know. Army Kiel, giving Russia and France some space, but at the same time, they're probably going to like convoy that to Sweden or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're busy attacking Scandinavia, kind of want fleets going on. Even if you're EF, like, why not have 3 fleets? Stay on 3 fleets. Don't need more than 3 fleets. But with only 2 fleets, you're kind of just, how are you going to shuffle things?
Yeah, it's going to be, and like, if you're building an army, why Kiel rather than like Munich or Berlin to give you some protection against if Warsaw decides to slide into Silesia, right? I mean, if you're going to build an army, which isn't necessarily bad, it's a decision. It's one viable path, but why in Kiel? And the only reason I can think is the convoy, but still, you can get that if you go Berlin too. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the follow-up there, but I'm a little bit nervous for Germany on that eastern border. Yeah.
I feel like if he, maybe I'm a bit more optimistic than you. I feel like if he just keeps on playing tactics the way he has been playing, and England and France keep on playing tactics the way they have been playing, Germany will be fine. But
yeah,
we'll see. There's a lot to think about. Also, Zoom apparently is going to kick me out in 8 minutes, which I was not prepared for. So, but I believe if we all just leave and then click the same link again, we can just pick up where we left off. So sorry for the disruption, but that should work.
why don't you try making me host? I have a paid Zoom account. It might want to continue.
Awesome. I will look at that. Yeah, it's always upgraded me before, so I was not prepared for it to cut me short. Also, hi Karthik. Hello. Welcome to the recording.
How's it going?
Karthik, would you move Warsaw to Silesia in this spring?
Let's see. Haven't had a chance to see what's happening before, but
No context.
Eustachio, I've put you in as the host. I don't think it's changed that.
Yeah, I probably would. I think I would try to win the EF and just mess up Germany since they're coming for Sweden. Give Austria and Italy some reason to be nice to me. Yeah, I'd do it. What was the consensus among you guys?
I think we're all fans of people poking other people.
Oh, nice, excellent.
When you're spectating, you just want to watch the drama, right? The higher stakes, the better. But when you're actually playing, it's a different matter. And
No, but I think Warsaw to Silesia is a good move in general. Like, I don't think it's bad.
I mean, I don't know. They've been doing the permanent Galicia bounces, so I'm not sure you can just let go of that very easily. But
You can have Ukraine do it, and I mean Warsaw to Silesia would probably encourage Venice to Tyrolia, Vienna to Bohemia. I mean, Venice isn't doing anything. Vienna isn't doing much of anything. Like, kind of remaining a support hold Budapest like this turn as well to signal that you don't want the bounce to continue. Like, you have options.
And you can slide Sev into the Black Sea. Ukraine support hold Rum. You're not risking that because if you're not competing for Galicia anyway this turn by moving Warsaw, you could even move Moscow down to Sev. You could, give some really weird astronaut vibes going on.
yeah, shall we look at the spring?
Sure.
Okay. So Russia took your advice. Yes,
but did not do what we expected in Galicia.
Ah.
Kiel was allying England. Interesting. Sort of.
What is going on here? Okay, that's all fair. That's all fair. Who do you guys like now?
No one.
I like the Austrians, but we'll see how they react to the Russian support into Galicia. If they react favorably, I really like the Austrian position. If they go aggressive against Russia, I don't like the Austrian position.
I mean, Italy has backed off now, no longer in Venice. So I feel like Austria just has a lot more breathing room there. And Italy's not going to get a Turkish dot this year either, which means Italy probably isn't going to get any dot unless France decides.
I wouldn't just say this year Italy isn't going to get a Turkish dot. I don't think they're ever going to get a Turkish dot. I mean, like, Fleet Aegean, Fleet Smyrna, Army Syria, like, what?
Yeah, but Turkey's going to have to pull.
But, like, whatever.
Well.
I think if I was Italy there, you got to think about like you cut Khan and then you move into Trieste to get your dot, right?
Mm.
I mean, or
And even to
you
Trieste,
got to
what?
get either Trieste or Greece sometime soon because you're right. I mean, Turkey isn't. It's just not happening for a long time, and instead they use a unit to poke at France. Which, I mean, do you really want another enemy, even if one that isn't in position to do anything against you? But you only have 4 units and no prospects for a 5th one. It seems to be conducting 2 wars with that few units is a little ambitious.
Yeah, never Lepanto, right? I don't like the Lepanto, but I guess this wasn't a full Lepanto either because he hasn't landed anything in Turkey, and now he has both armies back on the mainland, which is always a good thing. So.
I like the Lepanto, but Lepanto variations that give Austria peace of mind are never good for Italy. If you don't have your army somewhere that make Austria a little nervous, it's not going to end well for you in the end because you need to have the option to get dots as you help Austria progress forward. And so, I don't know.
Right. I remember you're the expert on Lepanto into stabbing Austria and ending on 17.
Well, I do like to do that. I mean, once you take out Turkey, why not just take out Austria too? Get all the dots. But it's interesting in the western half of the board, though. I mean, we see Warsaw to Silesia, and Germany is going to have to deal with that. At the same time, France is clearly not happy that they lost Belgium and is trying to do something about that. It still seems like nobody really has an ally there. I mean, maybe Russia and England, but they're not like able to coordinate on anything, so it doesn't matter their alliance. And Germany's they're just growing. I mean, they're going to be able to cover both Munich and Berlin, despite my worries. And France is going to be occupied covering Marseille in all likelihood.
Do you think the English Channel will be able to support Picardy into Belgium, though? I mean, Germany can't defend against it while also defending Munich and Berlin.
Yeah, that's true. So they probably can get Belgium back. They drop Burgundy to Marseille. Does England try to sneak into Portugal or support Piedmont to Marseille? Maybe.
It's a tough guess here for Germany. I might actually consider. I don't know. Like I don't know. I might try. I might be tempted to do like Holland support Belgium and Q to Berlin or something, and just like leave Munich open.
Yeah, take the 50-50 with Russia.
Berlin, like, you know, if you really, I mean, like, you have options, I guess, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Skagerrak could hold Sweden, and
yeah.
I just don't quite understand the sparring between England and France that's getting both of them nowhere.
I do want to point out, England built this fleet in Edinburgh in winter of 01, and it's never moved.
And I think they might move it to Norwegian, actually. I think my wild guess here, if I was Germany, I would make a supported attack on Norway and send ball to Sweden. I think Russia might not trust England enough anymore to not cover St. Petersburg, given that England's kind of like Italy fadly. That would be my wild. That's
actually a great call.
Wild thing.
That's ballsy. You might build 2 if you end up really lucky, or not
Yeah,
really lucky. Really Okay, I'm gonna have to end this meeting before it shuts down on me, and I think Yustaki is gonna make a new link, so let's recongregate.
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right, I think I pressed record. If anyone else has like a smoothly running computer and wants to do like a backup recording, I would not object. I'm not sure how it works with this not being my meeting.
Recording might end up in Estachio's account, maybe. I don't know either.
Possibly, but I did make Seren the host, so I think it should be. You should get the recording.
Sure.
If you make me the co-host, I can also do a recording, just as a backup.
All right, I've done that.
Perfect. Record on this computer. All set.
All right. How are we with Spring 03?
I'm ready to move on. think we're good.
Cool. Oh my word.
Oh, wow.
Halfway there.
Amazing, it happened, kind of, but like basically.
Halfway there. Yeah, half credit.
But he did it in a way to ensure that he couldn't use both builds. What's the point? Why?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Got to wave one.
You don't want to be waving in this
Yeah,
kind of
the Holland.
situation. You do not
Lord.
want to time to wave.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't just support himself into Holland.
Yeah.
Self-bounce strikes again. Belgium, Holland are cursed.
Just leave Holland empty. Who cares about Holland? Nobody's touching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This looks like he was just super worried about not getting to build at all this year, which was possible if like everyone else played it like, exactly perfectly. But this A is like definitely ensuring that you can't enjoy the maximum upside, and B has a decent chance of just getting that Belgium army blown up instead of being able to retreat to Holland, which is not good. So
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
But man, why? If you're France, why do you give that support cut though? Why do you want a bigger Germany here?
I do not know.
just go for Belgium. Like, do something that can give you an upside. Why are you cutting
like,
north for
yeah.
Germany?
If you take Belgium, you have a build in Marseille and you can deal with
Yep.
all your issues.
Mm-hmm. And suddenly all your issues go away. You have easy access to Ruhr. Like, I'm not sure what's going on there. And now, like, he incentivized the fleet in Edinburgh to move to Clyde, finally making its first step out of Edinburgh, where it was built in winter 1901. Now he has like a fleet in like the North Atlantic Ocean coming for him. Like, what is he thinking?
To be fair, England's pulling. Like, England and France are both in pretty rubbish positions right now.
Yeah.
And I love Germany.
I mean, there's those self-created terrible positions.
I don't know. England couldn't really do that much. Like, he didn't have that much play from the start, but
Yeah, that's fair.
maybe.
I mean, don't let France in the English Channel probably would be my word of advice.
I mean, if you were England and France here, how would you sort out your troubles and then go after Germany? Because that's kind of what has to happen, right?
It
It
needs
needs
to.
to
I
be
can
GR.
imagine it happening after France caused England to go down a dot here.
Same. And honestly, I think
Belgium.
it'd be purely on France to change the dynamic. Like,
Yeah.
France is very much in the driver's seat. He's in the English Channel. He's in now. If he wants this dynamic to change, he needs to make serious moves on Germany and like show England that he's not going to be a threat.
If he was serious about it, you put the fleet in the Channel into Belgium, because then you alleviate pressure on England while taking a dot from Germany. It sends clear signals, and just keep tapping on Spain saying, please get out, I need that dot.
I wouldn't even do that. I would still keep the fleet in the English Channel there, and I'd just support Picardy in, but I wouldn't make any moves against, like, England kind of would be forced to tolerate you at that point because you're the only one, like, not actively working against them, and you still have, like, the nice power dynamics of making sure that England can't do anything against you with your generosity. So at least that's how I view it.
Yeah.
Well, do we like anyone other than Germany at this stage?
Oh, like Russia. I mean, like, kind of.
Kinda, sort of.
A decent amount, actually.
Yeah.
The north looks sealed off, so you're not.
North is sealed off, but I think actually no. England and France are never going to do anything to Germany. Yeah, no. I really.
Russia's pulling, so there is that.
Yeah.
You probably pull Fleet Sev though, because you don't really need it here, right?
Right.
I mean, it depends on whether Austria is going to take this move to Bohemia in a friendly way, which, considering you also vacated Galicia, could be possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, though, like, I think the Italian is done with Austria, though, too. I mean, Ionian supporting Eastern to Aegean, Apulia to Venice, like,
Yep.
Yeah. Italy's getting anxious about that fifth dot, it seems like.
Yep. I'd really like. This is an interesting board. I'll leave it at that.
It seems like Russia's the only person who's concerned about Germany, as concerned as they should be about them.
I agree.
Well, they didn't tap Sweden, so. Uh,
It
but
was, as Pixie said, just like paranoia that the Englishmen would give up and go tap St. Petersburg.
Right.
which is
I mean,
understandable.
I don't blame Rush for thinking that. This England play has been very erratic, so it's a legitimate worry.
My
Yeah.
last question would be, is this an AR or an AIR? If you look at what Austria is signaling here, right? They wanted Seb
Yeah.
into Rum. They wanted Glisha
I'd
out.
say AR.
Yeah, I was thinking AR as well. I think it needs to be AR because you need to get the armies up against Germany to put a halt to their growth, put some pressure on them, make them play defense. So you're almost tied together, although Silesia to Bohemia rather than Prussia is a little bit anxiety inducing for
That's
us.
not an
And
AR.
that gets play on both Munich and Berlin. It forces him into a hard 50-50, whereas if it was Prussian Silesia, sure, it makes Austria more comfortable, but it also makes the odds of like a successful attack on Germany much lower.
Yeah. But I mean, you could have actually done both if you had enough trust to put the fleet into Rum, but I can
True.
understand
You
not
could say
wanting
at
to do
least
that.
Bohemia, Silesia, yeah, that's true. That would have been much more fun.
Yeah.
And they would have guaranteed a dot.
Do you want to have fun or do you want to win this finals, Karthik?
I want to have fun.
That's the right
finals. Not that big reward. Having fun though, that's what a game's all about.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Maybe the real victory was the friends we made along the way.
Exactly.
Are we still giving out the Defenestration Award?
I'd be down for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So the Defenestration Award will be given to the player who makes us most want to throw them out of a window at the end of the game. So be on the lookout for potential nominees.
France and England are high on my list right now. France probably the highest.
France is my number one, sure. My current vote. Italy's not gonna have much luck if he wants to attack Austria now. It's a bit late, so
yeah,
we'll see.
Just pretend it's an Alpine chicken Savoy shuffle the entire time. Like, I'm going after France. I swear, Austria or friends, right?
Russia pulls St. Pete South Coast.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all because it's the same problem that Germany had in the first year, right? You're trying to make too many friends, but you've already kind of made some enemies, right? Keeping Seb around, Turkey's going to be like, yeah, I know what that's for. So then you're the AR, but if you're the AR, then I don't think Germany is going to be like, great in AR. I'm just going to leave that alone. That'll work out fine for me in the late game.
Yes,
Russia's
Sweden
thinking we want to become
the army
Turkey
Sweden's
and
definitely gonna have
survive.
to get Petersburg.
I feel like the immediate problem for Russia is that this guarantees he loses St. Pete this year, right? But maybe he would have lost it anyways, because Norway to Barents and Sweden to Norway would have been disruptible only by England, and I'm not sure England would have been doing that, but maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Ukraine goes back to Moscow, like in case, but like, I don't know. We'll see.
Like, it's just so gutting to see both northern units come off when Germany's so strong. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the English decision, like, kind of had to.
Yeah.
Right, and you're making the bet. Sorry, you're making the bet here, right? That Austria is going to see what you're seeing. That Germany is leading the board and primed to continue going, right? So taking off Seb is a vote of trust, saying, "You have 3 on Romania. I trust you not to mess with that. If you do, these dots are going to Germany, and I'm going to fight you till the end, probably, right?"
Yeah.
I guess that is useful, like, for killing Turkey quickly and hopefully getting the dots that he feels he needs back, like, to go, like, and then, like, just so long as he can just hold, like, so long as the fleet ends up in St. Petersburg, I'm happy if I'm Russia. If the army ends up there, like, I need an army in Livonia and Moscow, like, fast. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
You make a good point, though. It would take a year for the army to get there, and by that time, then you can put something back in Moscow. No, that's a good point, actually. Yeah. AIR. Just kidding.
After supporting himself into Aegean, Italy goes and supports himself back into East Med.
Well, why did Russia not give a real support for Trieste to Tyrolia? Supporting himself like into Holden Silesia isn't necessary.
Oh, goodness.
What?
That is
You
going
called the
on.
channel.
France finally takes Belgium. So well done, France. You get a build. You get a build if England doesn't fuck you.
Yeah.
But following up into the channel, I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of that, right?
Neither am I.
I don't know.
I guess it allows you to bring Picardy to Burgundy, but I mean, it's,
Don't you need to support hold Belgium?
yeah, like you could do it from the channel now.
You do it from the channel.
If England is okay with that.
I would not count on the channel not being tapped here if I were France, but you know, maybe I'm more paranoid.
And those red arrows in the east.
Yep.
Not great.
So Italy requests support into Con. Do we think he's gonna get support into Con?
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Why?
Why is a good question. Why is a good question.
I mean, after tapping Munich a couple times in the first 2 years, has anybody done more for Germany's game than Italy? Like, Italy's just making everything a
So
mess
easy.
for everybody else except for Germany.
Right.
Oh, that blocking Tyrolia here. Oh, man.
And he didn't even support himself into Tyrolia, so this was just a
No.
half-hearted, I'll just walk to Tyrolia without expecting to get in. Okay.
I don't know what anyone was thinking here.
Yeah, just move on. Just
Yeah.
not dwell on it.
KOG, KOG.
Be like that sometimes for Turkey.
Oh, feels bad for Turkey. Like, he tried his best the whole game, but like, what was he gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, they tried to make sure Italy wasn't going to get anything, but Austria actually gave them the dot here. And I mean, Turkey did the best they could with the hand they were dealt, but Russia wasn't ever all in on the juggernaut because of the situation in the north. And I mean, Italy, for whatever reason, just has happily plugged along as the junior partner in this whole arrangement. And so Turkey has done the best they can, really. And they're down to one here, but still can't figure out the Tyrolia situation, though.
Italy tried to bait Austria into just walking out of Trieste and walking in. I mean, really? It's just, I don't know. At this point, I don't think I would have supported Aegean into Con. Like, what do you need Italy for? Italy's been harassing you all game. The only other person Italy can go fight with that build realistically is France, and you need France to hold back Germany. You absolutely don't need France to be getting destroyed right now.
Right, exactly. Like I like beyond just like the purely selfish reasons why you would want Con and not like Italy to have it. Like,
I mean,
there's very
Italy
real
out of
board
the
reasons that like, Italy getting it is just like that. Like, I have no idea why you would do that.
Yeah, like it gets him out of the Aegean, but if
If
that
I
was the point,
really want to have some fun, I'd send Greece to Ionian and then Serbia to Greece.
that sounds a little bit familiar.
Or you
Not
could even
sure
like support Italy into Con and then move Greece to Aegean and then take Con for yourself the next trip.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, so everybody manages not to disband.
What a messy board.
Except for Turkey, who is about to be dead. Rest in peace. Very sad.
But it looks like at least France and England are kind of on good terms now in some respect.
As good as they can be, I guess.
Belgium decided to do an illegal support for themselves rather than try to help England into North.
Yeah.
or England into Holland.
I know, right?
England into Holland would have worked too.
Yeah.
Yep. Belgium supports Picardy to Burgundy was just a more important order. What can
Very, very
It
critical.
doesn't even signal anything. Like, at least if you're going to give an illegal order, have it signal something useful about that. I don't know, like, the difference between an army and a fleet.
This is, I'm fighting Germany, but I still hate you, England.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish you all bad things.
I just think of that as asshole play. It's kind of like sandbagging, right? Like maybe it can serve some diplomatic use if you can convince people that you don't know that Belgium can't do that support. But this is the top board, so I'm not sure how much success you'll have with that.
France is definitely getting my defenestration award.
Yeah, and look, England and Italy are now in a position to take Marseille off you if England is annoyed enough. So we'll see how that happens.
Fingers crossed.
Portugal's wide open too.
Hope they don't.
Oh, he supports him to hold. Sure. Oh, come on.
Oh, Austria,
Yep.
why?
Yeah. I was gonna say, without all the lines on the board, winter's really helpful, and you can look and you see this big gap, and you go, oh, I think France on 5 is probably enough that Germany's not gonna run with this game now, so I can go meet my friends.
Yep. I hope we see a nice quick winter green in response to this.
Russia's done for. That's their game.
Yeah, Russia's done. But I mean, it was never a good hand that Russia was dealt anyways, so Russia's always like semi-done in most games, unless Russia solos. So, you know, if Piedmont had gone to Tyrolia instead of Venice, then at least Russia could coordinate with Italy to give Italy Trieste and like take some sort of, you know, countermeasures there. But Italy supported Venice into Tyrolia. I mean, this is wow. Still being the junior partner.
Yeah. They've got to get ambitious at some point here. Although, I mean, now they have Smyrna and Khan, but will that hold through the fall? I'm not sure. Because like Austria could get really greedy here if they wanted to. They could.
Yep.
Yeah. And they should. I mean, they should. Like, this is kind of like this is how AI versus RT gets stuck, right, in the overall metagame, because Russia will be like, all right, you know what, fine. I'm going to help kill Turkey. We're going to get these dots. We're going to be great allies. We're going to go somewhere else. And Austria goes, but all these armies just... right?
Yeah, AR is just one of those things where Russia's gonna be like open to Austria most of the time, but like what Russia will be offering Austria is northern fleets, which Austria can never dream of having, right? And like northern fleets are the promise of expansion into Germany to like reach places that Austria can't normally go himself. But like in gunboat, that kind of deal is just so much harder to negotiate.
Well, and that's why that disband of St. Petersburg South Coast was so problematic, along with like that's the other reason I don't like Bohemia either, because it leaves Austria nowhere to go with those armies. They need to have, you need to get them to go to Tyrolia and Bohemia if they're in on the AR. Otherwise, they just are too tempted to gut you from behind the lines. And it just, we've seen a lot of people bring their own worst fears to reality in this game. Like you see the paranoia, but their moves are precipitating those actions. Russia did it, England did it. I mean, it's, and Austria and Germany are exploiting it at this point. I can't see one of those two powers not topping this board. Maybe France if it works out just right, but
it's a lot of years.
That's true. It's only 1905, but
yeah, it's been surprisingly.
You can't top a board if you get eliminated in 1905.
That's true.
Interesting. I just actually supported a convoy from Ankara to Sevastopol, not a fleet, but c'est la vie.
All right, question for you guys. If you're Austria, would you have tried to take Khan here? Because I think I would have.
No.
Hindsight.
I'd wait for Italy to prove that they want to be my junior partner, and then get more dots off of Russia.
I would have taken it. I mean,
think about the smear move. Yeah.
I don't know. Turkey is the promised land. If you can control all of Turkey, it's hard not to top the board.
Yeah,
And I feel like this was the one chance you have to make that a reality as Austria. I mean, you can still eventually bring an army around from Sev to Armenia and try to make a move on Turkey that way. But it's just, at this point, if you don't go after Turkey, you're hoping to get Sev, Moscow, Warsaw, and that's it basically, right?
I don't like not going for Khan and also not covering Greece. Like, this is the only way that you can, more or less the only way that you can go down, right? Is if you don't go for Khan and then Italy takes Greece, and then that's not good. So I don't know. I feel like if you're going to do this, you may as well just have self-bounced in Greece, right? It's very cheap. And like, Turkey was always going to cut Smyrna. What else was Turkey going to do? So Khan was there unless Russia supported Italy.
And also, like, why did Italy not even cover Venice? I mean, they could have gone down 2 here if, well, down 2 plus 1. But I mean, if Austria was really greedy, and I don't know.
He has the position to be greedy.
Because if
that
it works,
kind of key for sure.
fleet Trieste, and then you're good. Like,
The big event though, England builds.
So they do. They took Portugal.
They took Portugal.
Portugal, I can't. Portugal.
Oh my goodness.
There goes the hopes of France coming back, I guess.
Yeah. But like, come on, France, like, Turkey was screwed out of the gate. Russia didn't have that many opportunities, but France had opportunities and sort of didn't really take them. So I don't really have that much sympathy for France.
No, neither do I. Well, like I said, he's getting my defenestration trophy. That's like the anti-sympathy.
Yep.
And they disbanded.
Oh, he pulls Mao.
Okay, he's just saying Iberia is yours, basically. And
Fleet
England wars him with Fleet Liverpool.
I hate Fleet Liverpool. I hate it. Like, you need to be fighting Germany here. Why?
Sure, but I mean, like, can you really blame England that much? Like, given how this game's gone, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like England has legitimate reason to say, like, look, France, like, you're playing terribly. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do. Germany's someone else's problem now.
I think the reason though is Liverpool ends up in 3 places, right? It's either Now, IRI, or Ing. And Norwegian, like, Now and IRI are the same. Norwegian can get there. If you build Eddie, you can support yourself back into Norwegian. There's only Denmark. Like, so you're covering Wales? Are you worried that taking Portugal has made France just want to suicide into you? Because if that's the case, don't take Portugal.
Oh man.
I feel like this Mao disband sort of might indicate that France is Ed. I'm not saying that it is definitely him or it is not him, but I feel like of the people who are in this game, the most likely to pull Mao here is Ed. But we'll see. I thought Austria was Riaz also. That crossed my mind, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
I have no idea who's playing this game, so.
I'm usually like 0 out of 7 on guessing anyone, so like I guess we'll just see how laughably wrong I am after the game.
So like, Russia's, because of Austria turning and taking Rum, which it looks like it's going to be all they get for a little bit here, Russia's probably going to help Germany moving forward. And now ENF are having another spat. This board is just, it's been golden for Germany. There's been like one turn where people were concerned with them. And then everybody's like, well, everybody else is taking care of it. Why don't I get mine now? Doesn't work if everybody does that. Oh, goodness. What a mess.
What?
Convoy to Smyrna? Is he really trying to punish Italian generosity by taking the guy's dots?
I'm so confused. Convoy to
And and also, like, not even is it like a good, like, clever, greedy move. It just like punishes his own position. Like, Bulgaria should have been supporting Romania. Budapest should have been going to Galicia. And then you have Romania support Galicia, Ukraine. Like, that works. This doesn't. Like, now you've lost Galicia because, like, you're, like, an idiot. And, like, what is going on?
What are the plausible? Sorry, my question is, what are the plausible orders from Italy? Where bow to Smyrna is a good order.
When Smyrna's going to Eastern, like, do you think Italy's gonna like be so careful to walk around you, or do you think they're gonna like? But if they make like a supportive move into Aegean, because they assume like you might hold or go back to Greece, right, to kind of like de-escalate the position, convoy gets disrupted. I don't.
Yeah, the
only
problem
way
is
if
both.
actually working is like Khan holds Smyrna to Eastern, just like to make sure that Russia doesn't get any ideas. But like,
Sure, I guess.
Why did Russia support Bulgaria to Khan?
I don't know. Does it create chaos? I guess.
I guess. Man, that would be more vengeful.
To be fair, if both took Khan in the spring, that's probably the only scenario in which Russia might be able to get Khan in the fall. If you look at
True. That's true. That's a good
Yeah.
point. You try to turn Austria and Italy against each other.
Yeah.
That's fair. Because, I mean, they're not going to win with tactics at this point. They need to change the diplomatic situation.
This is not good. But Russia did have a line at Ukraine here because Austria is not in Silesia and is very unlikely to get in Silesia with Germany so strong. Russia had a line here at Warsaw, Ukraine steppe. If he had just held it, if Seb had tapped Rum, Warsaw taps Galicia, you have your line and some chance of getting back in. Actually, he would have taken Galicia if Seb had just tapped Rum. He would have taken Galicia without losing Ukraine and been in a pretty decent position. But this is not as good, I think. But to be fair, Norway going to St. Pete is not nice. It's just Germany being an ungrateful piece of shit at that point.
Yeah. Which is why he retreated in Moscow instead of Sevastopol.
Yep. I mean, it's 4-unit diplomacy in gunboat, so you do what you can do, which is not much.
I could see like Norway to Finland, St. Pete to Norway to try to shift the fleets, but
that's better positionally. Exactly. That's just better positionally, I think, too, because you're not really trying to compete for Moscow, right? And powering up Austria further just means that you're going to have somebody asking to be let into Munich sooner.
Yeah, 100% agreed.
And for England's part, they're covering Spain, making sure they keep Iberia, moving to Wales, and also moving to Helgoland. It's an interesting set of orders.
It's fair. All right. At least there's like a tiny bit of pressure on Germany now with Helgoland. Oh my god.
Nice guy Germany tries to bounce Austria to Moscow. Wink, wink.
So Germany builds 2.
Yeah.
Where we just, wow. Germany builds 2 and Austria does not build. This is Germany's game, right? It has to be.
Has to be.
Nobody's trying to stop them.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I mean, to really drop down to Venice, like, the only unit in no man's land right now is a German one in Silesia, like,
Yep. Man, I know we all hate the AIR, but bring back the AIR.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay,
just the AR. Leave the I out. Bring back the AR.
Okay, bring back.
If you're Russian here, why not just convoy Ankh back to South?
That's what I've been wondering for the longest time.
Yeah, come on, just convoy Ankh back to South.
I mean, like, Smyrna obviously has to support hold Constantinople after everything we just seen. Like, make the convoy and then park Black Sea in Ankara maybe if you really need the.
Italy can never get that dot because it's 2 fleets, and they're never going to have a convoy line to bring an army over at this rate.
Exactly.
I mean,
we're in 1906, so it's not inconceivable that like a 4-unit Russia with some sort of like position like this could like hope to stagger into 1912 on like 1 dot or something. But like every year that he's losing is just that much worse for his chances. So,
right.
At this point, that's all you're playing for, right? If you're Russia. we've seen a Russian board top from like having 2 units, like 1 fleet in Baltic and 1 army in Livonia or something in the Speedboat League. But I think that was a very rare occurrence. That was a funny game though.
Man, Germany's
this game, Italy seems to have very little ambition of attacking Austria, so like Russia can't really hope for much here. But
Austria can just walk into the Ionian here if he wants.
He could. I'm not sure why he doesn't.
Would you if you were Austria?
Absolutely. Just take dots now.
Ah.
I mean, Italy isn't going to do anything to help you against Germany, right? Like, you know.
That's
like,
true.
Why not?
Is there any way that Germany does not top this board?
Not that I can see. France is
Austria does.
England is like, you know, going to create some pressure, but they can't do much. Like, Helgoland's going to get blown up.
Yep.
What can Austria realistically get? Maybe 12 or 13? I don't think that's enough to keep Germany from topping this.
Right. And it would take a lot to put them on 12 and 13 also, like, you know.
Yeah.
Good disband by Russia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
I mean, you're not keeping Warsaw, so you try to get Sev down into Turkey and try to take over Turkey and stay alive, probably.
Yeah.
Yep. I just don't understand what Italy is hoping to get out of this. Like,
It's unclear to me.
I don't know. At this point, it's
But if I'm Austria, like, you know, I'm just like gonna ignore Germany for a little bit, and just send Vienna to Tyrolia, Budapest to Trieste, and take advantage of the fact that Italy's going to try and be greedy and take Marseille probably.
Yeah.
And if they succeed and get in while Germany taps Burgundy, like then Venice is like undefendable, like, you know, or indefensible. So that'd be a 3 dot there.
I don't like that. I think that gives Germany a huge top if you try to attack Italy this year.
I think right now, like you're racing, right? Because like, you know, like there's not much like you never bothered to put the pressure on St. Lucia from the beginning, and now I think it's too late for Austria to get a positional advantage there necessary. I think we need a race for dots.
So this is
agree
game 1 of the right? So at this point, I think if I'm Austria, I want eliminations to cut people out of having chances in game 2. Like, you're not going to catch Germany. You just have to beat Germany in game 2.
Yeah, that's also a good point. Yeah.
I think attacking Italy here doesn't risk a massive German board top. It risks a German solo. I don't think you should be doing it, because if Germany does solo, you're probably not winning this series.
There are 6 years left.
I think Italy staying alive creates a more likely more likely solo because it collapses the French position, right? Like, you know, getting the French dots, like, you know, in Marseille, Spain, and Portugal will be difficult if France is able to, like, you know, keep the position alive. But if Italy collapses France in the south, then what is going to stop Germany from rushing into Brest, Paris, like, you know?
Sorry, what position? France has no
stopped
position
there,
at all. France doesn't have a position in Iberia. England does. England has one more than France.
Well, Marseille, Burgundy, and Picardy is enough to hold the line for a while. Like, you know, so long as France can't get a fleet into the English Channel.
I mean, Germany is taking Helgoland in the spring and then north in the fall, so he's going to be in the Channel very quickly.
Right, I don't
lose his dots
in Channel until 1908, 1909, right? Like, you know, and if you can survive, then there's only 3 years until the end of the game. Like, that's time.
Man.
I suppose. Well,
what a mess they've made here.
Yeah, we should move on. I think England can muck up the north long enough that as Austria, you should keep Germany.
Why would you not destroy Helgoland here?
I don't know.
Huh.
And why are you tapping Holland, of all places?
To be fair, if you're expecting that unit to die, like, you may as well tap something.
Yeah, but why not, like, you know, tap Denmark or Kiel or, like, anywhere?
Does it matter? I don't know. Like, I would have just written Helgoland off, but apparently not, because it lives.
If you tap Denmark, right? Like, you know, you stop Kiel from going there.
I suppose.
And,
but, like, I would have expected...
You know, and if, like, you know, he's bad at writing orders and tries to make an attack on North Sea, you can cut, like, you know, support for the North Sea there. I mean, it gives you options, I guess.
I would have expected Denmark to support Kiel into Helgoland and Norway to tap north. Like that just seems like a very obvious set of orders to me. So like I wouldn't have thought about it beyond there. But
Yeah, that's fair.
guess you should have. Russia going into Turkey. Yeah. What else do you do at this point, right?
Got to make way for Austria to have a front against Germany and hope they let you live.
Mm-hmm.
Is Austria being honest with Aegean? So they supported Smyrna to Khan, yeah, which is theoretically to be like, well, Russia might make a supported attack on Khan, right? But Italy did sort of the same thing in reverse, right? But knowing that you can't kick out your own unit, of course, right? So there's no risk to Italy like doing that as their protection. And there's a lot of risk to them moving Smyrna in case Aegean doesn't support Whole Khan, something like that, or in case they literally move it, which they did. I think Aegean's being a little bit dishonest.
That'll be interesting.
I mean, it is the way that Austria has been treating Italy all game, so maybe yep. Anyways, I'm rooting for Russia now, so I'm just hoping that Russia survives, and I'm along for the Russian attempt to pull out in Turkey, and I wish him the best of luck. So, let's see. I'm just astounded that Italy didn't try to take something, because this isn't going to work.
Spring turn though. Spring turn. I think you're maybe betting that France thinks, hey, Marseille's lost, something's lost, like why bother? And putting yourself into Tyrolia in case Austria doesn't seals that line, right? You're not worried about Germany poking around.
Sure.
It makes sense.
Wow.
Oh no. The convoy to Yorkshire.
I don't know how many times I've seen Germany make like a set of orders that I think is just bizarre and shouldn't work, but it just works out for him every time.
The reeds. They've got the reeds.
It is reeds, isn't it? Oh,
It is
so
reeds.
sad for Russia. So sad. So I don't know. Like now that you mentioned the reeds, Pez is the player I expect to play like that, because Pez is always doing shit that I don't understand and that I disagree with, but somehow it always as in, I don't know, a majority of the time works out for him. And he likes doing reads, and he also thinks there is no luck in diplomacy, which was not a debate I cared to get into with him. But
Nor now.
you never want to be debating whether there is luck in diplomacy. It's one of those things that you just don't do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a stupid semantic like argument there. Like, there's no real like discussion happening. It's just like, what is like the real question is what is luck, and then like but let's put that aside.
Yeah.
Next.
My top board now.
Garthik, about this Austria.
Yeah, this Austria's looking pretty nice.
Yep. Oh.
I will say I think I was wrong about asking for the stab on Italy. I think now the line is like there's no risk of a German solo. Like with I think Germany can replace France and England much better than either of them could serve anyone's interests.
Yeah,
I think
like we have this Sebastopol line held. Like Germany's not going to solo.
He might get Warsaw as well if England can actually occupy Germany for long enough. Look at this. Like, this is why you should have disbanded Helgoland. Now it's going to be a thorn in your side for who knows how long. Look at all the dots next to it. But
I mean, if Germany's smart, like he won't bother defending against Helgoland at all, and we'll just send like a 1 unit follow with it.
Yeah.
But like my worry is here that Helgoland collapses his position as he overreacts to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just see people like way overreact to 1 unit behind their lines, and their entire position just collapses, as you say, when they didn't have to.
Yeah, don't let a unit behind your lines in the first place, but if you do, you can't stress about it. You can't let it change the rest of your position. Just follow it, and But Germany should still top pretty easily here, even with that error.
I don't think so.
I think Austria has a comfortable threat against you now. A very comfortable threat.
Yeah. I think England
AIG,
actually.
so boring. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
No, you're sorry. I think England actually has a pretty decent position now. I think Germany. I didn't disagree at the time. The convoy was really good, but it actually leaves them a little too thin at home. And I think maybe they should consider giving up Belgium to France or something weird like that, because Italy's gonna start showing up, right? With Portugal gone now, that's a big change. So, yeah.
Yeah, with Portugal pulled, Italy and Spain, like, power dynamics changed massively this turn. Like, Marseille's gonna fall, guaranteed. Portugal will be Italian as well. Like, wow.
I agree with wow.
Yeah.
I think in any case, it's headed for a three-way draw.
AIG endgames, please. Like, I know you complain about AIRs, but that's in face-to-face. This is Gunboat, and in Gunboat, we complain about AIGs because they're the most annoying thing.
I feel like 6 of the 7 top 100 ghost rating type games on every single 7-game series, 6 of 7 will be a Central Powers Alliance or a Central Triple, like three-way draw.
English, though. Sorry.
Every now and then, England makes their way in. Every now and then.
I was going to say England.
Happen. And don't call the English solo too soon, Seren.
No, I don't talk about games in progress. Okay.
I actually think this is too slow from the Austrian here. This is too cautious.
Russia lives this year.
This turn?
Russia
I think Galicia has no need to not support Vienna to Bohemia. So theoretically, they're like, I don't want Moscow to get popped, right? Norway heads back, but Germany's not paying attention to that. If you you can just, I don't know, maybe this is more reads, but yeah, that's
once you have somebody on the defensive, you just need to make really aggressive moves to press your advantage, I think.
To be fair, Austria has Warsaw on lock, so it's not like he's not accomplished anything, right?
Oh, certainly, yeah. And you have to watch out, like Black Sea. You know, you got to stick around while. Actually, it's gonna probably live another year.
Oh, it's guaranteed to live another year if it just walks back into Ankh.
Yeah.
I mean, really speaking, he's guaranteed to live like until Sebastopol goes to Armenia.
It's not going to survive the game, right? But I guess it lives one more year.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Black Sea kind of survives, like, you know, for like 3 years. Like, Siseb can, Siseb won't be busy for too long, actually.
They'll get rid of it. Like, you have to loot those, like, 10-ish points, right? This is the finals. You've got to take those 10 points.
Yeah.
I hate draw whittling, guys. I hate it. But
become a draw scoring player, Seren.
I'm never playing DSS again.
Let the darkness flow through you.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
Wow.
This Russian play, I really like the Russian.
The Russian has got balls.
Like, you know.
Look at that.
Makes sense.
I mean, the Austrian will be fine. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, the Moscow will fall, like, you know, in due time. And if Germany can't figure a way to keep England happy, St. Petersburg could actually fall to the Austrian for a little bit, because that fleet in Norway can easily be cut and will likely be busy doing other things as well. Like, you know, I actually really like the Austrian position now.
Oh,
Man, this would have been a perfect spot for a hostile support by Eddie.
Oh, that would have been gorgeous if that had happened.
Oh my, yeah, England would have built if he'd done that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He would have, like, you'd have to be.
Well, nowhere to build, but.
You'd have to be.
He would have built in Liverpool.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right. Liverpool. Oh my goodness.
That would have been like an insane 300 IQ play. Like, I would have called England like the MVP on the sport if he'd actually pulled that off.
Oh yeah,
like,
that move takes like England from like spot 6 in my preferences to like spot 11 instantly.
But again, this is why you should have popped Helgoland. Like, you
Yeah.
just don't like this, even if it doesn't hurt you that much. You don't. I mean, this is gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being the reason he doesn't board top and Austria board tops. Like, come on, it's so
Yeah.
annoying.
It's,
And
well,
the
hold on. I
issue is
think
now, you know, he doesn't have one unit behind like German lines. Now he has 2 units behind German lines in threatening positions.
Yep.
That will just cause
That's
chaos.
flashing
Like, you
now.
know, this is catastrophic.
yeah, but I mean, why did Germany? I'm not seeing why they would self-bounce in north anyway for the cut from both sides. Are they worried? So I guess they were worried about support into London.
But Yorkshire. Yeah.
But
Yeah, he
then,
cut both supports into London.
oh, he didn't want to act. But then, like, why not just send Norway supported with London? That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying.
I mean, it wouldn't have worked, but like, yeah,
Right. But like,
it's a
Just-
better order set. Yeah.
do you want to try to like defend St. Pete? Maybe. But if you end up in North Sea by accident, nobody's in Norwegian. Probably not anybody in Ska. So you can sort of like walk back. And
Yeah.
if they, I mean, yeah, because even if Moscow moves to Livonia alone and then a supported attack is made on Moscow to bounce that, you still have a turn to get back to Norway to hold it. So
Mm-hmm.
That third German fleet that they built has been the least valuable unit on the board since they built it. Has
Yep.
done
Yep.
Which is ridiculous because I thought, like, you know, when they both like, oh man, this is going to be the unit that does like so much work for Germany, blows up Helgoland, and then just helps them roll England. But
I'm
literally
sorry.
worked.
If he'd blown up Helgoland and then gone into north in the autumn, he would have a much better position. Like, you
So much
just
better.
don't want to play with this. This is.
Helgoland is very valuable if you're fighting England. I mean,
Mhm.
it just ties your position together. And
Yep.
only they hadn't built that army keel way back when. They would have had that third fleet like a year or two sooner, right? And then a lot of things. Yeah.
I feel like Germany is hurting from probably not having enough time to think. Like, a lot of the moves are things that you would not do if you just thought for like 1 minute or 2 more.
it's one of those players for which this was a very suboptimal time to play, and they had good energy at the start of the game. That's fading.
That sounds like
Pez
everything.
said they were skipping dinner. Pez
Yeah,
confirmed.
Hez did say he was skipping dinner. I'm not saying Germany is
Mm.
Hez, but you know, he did. Oh. Oh yeah.
We're almost
Germany
caught
does
up
get
too.
people. Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
Helgoland's
surprises
gone, so
here.
that's something.
So I guess we just. Oh, we've caught
Oh,
up.
yeah, we've caught up. I was gonna say.
Dang.
Back to the
Like-
winter. Let's stare at it forever.
I feel like Edinburgh is a lost cause at this point. You keep Helgoland,
Yeah.
you keep the fleet in Eddy, and then just try to cause chaos in Scandinavia and like German coasts. I don't know that the Army Yorkshire does anything for you. Can't coordinate with anything, so it's just an isolated army.
Rest in peace, England. It was good knowing you, but you're not gonna last this game. So, goodbye. Sad times.
So long.
Has Italy built too many fleets? Should this have been an army?
Why? I mean, Italy has no intent to, like, you know, be ambitious and go after Austria. So, like, why not just get another fleet, get into Mal, get into wherever? I don't know.
I mean,
To
he
put that
never.
another way, they've got time to go after Austria. They've still got 3 years. I think they could do it, right? They want to get around the corner, start looking a little bit north, and then they could, like, I mean, do you think they make a supported attack on Trieste in the fall this year?
It's not gonna work, is it? I mean, like, go after Austria with 2 armies and 6 fleets.
Was the fall move Trieste to Vienna as a backfill with Vienna to Bohemia?
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Right?
It
So
was.
then that works, and you're going to do it again in the spring, right? Your allies in the spring.
Well,
Yeah,
Tyrolia
fair enough.
to Trieste in the fall, supported by Venice, and then party time.
yeah, could see that.
I can see that. Nice little diplomatic subterfuge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's possible.
I mean, we were all shitting on Italy for you know, being the perpetual junior partner, but like maybe as a line after all, because
Mhm.
He's 8 to Austria's 9, and you can't win if you lose in 1905 because you pissed off your neighbor. So maybe he knew what was up all along, and
Yeah.
not my style of play, but a lot of play styles work that are not my style. So all right, maybe they've gone. Okay, we're there. Come on, Germany. England just walks into Kiel, making his life even more painful.
Yeah, I read that Italian. That Italian support hold Trieste, Tyrolean not supporting it again. I'm calling that dishonest.
Yeah. There is no move more dishonest than Venice support hold Trieste, whether it's in 1901 or if it's in 1909. Like,
and it's the thing your brain does when you're like, oh, I don't want to let them know that I'm definitely looking at this dot.
Yeah, exactly.
If
like,
you see
the moment
Venice
I
support
see Venice
Trieste,
hold Trieste, like that's like the red, like, you know, sirens blaring, Italian stab, like in the next year, like, you know, if not next turn, like, honestly.
when you see that in
I
Spring
also
01,
love, I think we can draw attention, like, you know, to the nice little red supporting arrows in the French territories. Like, that's just, it happens.
Picardy and Gascony support Ruhr to Marseille. Marseille supports Gascony to Burgundy. Belgium supports Picardy to Paris.
Yep.
Rest in peace, France. It was good knowing you, but you're not going to survive this game either. It is an AIG, as they all are.
I actually think they might make the draw in Paris.
Uh,
There's no Italian armies.
Germany's too busy to deal with it. Yeah, why not?
That's true. There are no Italian armies, like, literally. And Russia's going to live this year again. I'm a big fan of Russia. Well done.
They're gonna die next year though. Seb's freed up now,
Yeah,
so it's.
Yeah.
And on the downside, for Austria, though, St. Petersburg is permanently defensible now.
Yeah.
So it was well done to Germany, and credit has to be given to Germany for supporting Moscow back into St. Petersburg.
Correct.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that, you know, France missed at the very start of the game. So getting Belgium blown up at a time when it was really bad for him, and Germany hasn't missed it. He has supported himself back so that it doesn't get destroyed, as you should. So
it frees up that fleet to do something active, which is very helpful with those Italian fleets surrounding Iberia.
Yep. Yeah, letting England walk into Kiel is not good. And I'm not sure what the purpose was. Like, you don't need to be in Baltic. Does it do anything?
Is it an assumption that Germany thinks that England knows that Austria is going to be the board top threat, maybe? Because we all see Moscow's lost, right? So then they're on even tens, and then you're kind of like, well, you know, stop hitting me from behind, please.
I mean,
A little late for that, though.
Yeah, if I'm England here, I'm just hitting Germany as much as I can. Like, a bigger Austria only helps me.
That's true. A center for you, even if you pay more tribute. It's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, what would you do here as Germany? Like, you've got some tough choices to make about, like, whether you kick Kiel out, whether you, like, you know, take that guess.
Yeah, I think you got to kick it out. I mean, France is obviously not hostile towards you, and I mean, you can't go down to.
We're to Kiel with Baltic support. Why not?
Silesia to Munich with Berlin support. You can cover that, and then yeah.
Well,
the only clever thing that I wanted to point out for Austria is that they did send Romania back to Budapest, making the clever Italian stab a little bit less likely.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's pretty cerebral by Austria. I like it. Although maybe I think Serbia has the better position if your aim is to guard against the Italian stab.
So though, I mean, you can go if you're Italy here, you can go Smyrna to Aegean, Tice to Ionian, build in Naples.
Oh no, I agree. The stab isn't cut, but like, you know, the super easy stat presaged by Venice support hold Trieste isn't available.
Yeah.
Because Venice support hold Trieste means I'm taking Trieste from you either next turn or next year, invariably.
Yeah.
Going to Budapest instead of Serbia also telegraphs that you're probably gonna have to move Budapest in the fall. Where are you gonna build?
Oh,
Like, you
that's a
want to
good point.
build, but going to Budapest means you can't build in Budapest, and Budapest is probably your best build spot because it's
Yeah,
the most
I agree.
secure. So,
Romania
This is the tough part for Austria late game is where do you build? It's so hard to clear spots to build while also playing active.
It's the same issue for Germany. Both of the two central powers there find it very hard to build because, like, you're trying to put units into, like, I mean, I think it's even harder for Germany because of how, like, Tyrolia, Bohemia, and Silesia will tend to be abutting against it from the south. But yeah, it's a hard position for Austria now because of that move to Budapest. Let's see what they do.
yep.
That's gonna
Maybe
send you
tops
to
to
winter.
score, that'd be something.
Oh crap! Did I go too far?
The button always sends you to the latest thing.
Ah, okay. Okay.
We
Well,
moved
here's
out of Venice and out of Portugal.
I am so
Ooh,
disappointed
Norway.
with
Oh,
England.
jeez. Lie.
England could have built. I mean, there's no way to expect that he would have built because I wouldn't have expected to build, but England could have built.
I'm more disappointed that Portugal went to Spain.
Yeah, no, that's what I was groaning at.
Yeah. Oh.
If you're going to go to Spain, at least go to North Coast.
And if you're gonna vacate, at least go to now. Like, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is Italy saying very clearly, Germany, I don't want Germany to get the board top. Instead, I'm going to give the board top to Austria, which is something you might do in a press tournament or face-to-face tournament. I'm not sure what is the point of doing it in a gunboat tournament. Like, you don't even know who Austria is. It might be the guy you hate the most in this group of players.
We're all friends here. I don't know why you would suggest.
Oh, and then Kiel retreats to Denmark voluntarily and gets in.
I think they were trying to bounce it though, right? The moves that
Yeah.
Karzik suggested, then
Yeah.
Baltic could have covered Denmark, and you would ended up back in hell going bite.
This is England being very afraid of Germany covering Denmark and covering Holland and booting him out of Kiel, which I'm not sure you should be afraid of looking at how many threats Germany has to deal with. Right?
Yeah. You could also read it as nice though.
Yeah, no, Pixie. My moveset still had Berlin defending Silesia. So Baltic was going to support were Kiel, so Denmark would have been open for a retreat.
Okay.
Yeah, because like if you're German, you can't spend that much attention on Kiel. Like, that was the point I made earlier in the broadcast, is that if you spend that much time worrying about a single unit behind your lines, you're going to collapse your own position. So don't do it.
That's true.
Yeah. No, ordinarily, I'd say this is the kind of situation where you have to make the other person choose, right? Like, holding in Kiel makes them choose because they're gonna have to waste resources if they want to get you out there. Like, this kind of thing, it risks exactly this happening. You just concede to them without them having to do anything, which is not great. But like I predicted, Budapest has got to move out again. It goes to Rome. So,
Yeah, the secret bad thing here is Norway moving though, because now you can't disband Finland, which was kind of like the hopes and dreams there. Because you could pop Liverpool, it's not that big of a deal. But
I take back my predictions. England is gonna live a while from this turn.
I told you, England's not that easy to kill. I mean, they're not Turkey levels of difficult, but England's like a pain in the ass to kill alone.
yes.
I don't know. I've had some decent luck just going after England and killing England, but you know.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
when they let you walk in
do
Liverpool.
like the defense, and then like they walk out of both dots, and like you end up getting both, and they try to like do that double cut. That's always hilarious, but like, if they don't make that mistake, like killing England's a laborious process.
Well, with Italy and Austria both attacking you, probably harder than it might have.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
you have complications like that, like makes it even more painful.
Yeah.
Stasio, do you have power ranks for this winter?
Let's see. I mean, Italy's just not making their move on Austria, so it's hard to see a scenario where Austria. Well, what's their next dot though? I mean, they get Moscow, they're at 10. They have to drop Sev to Armenia. They start bringing armies around like that, but they just aren't set up to go anywhere else, really. Italy is going to get Portugal when they want it. They're going to get Brest when they want it. But are they going to get anything else? They're probably stuck at 10 unless they stab Austria.
Mm-hmm.
Germany is going down to 10, but they could get Eddie, they could get Denmark back. They're the only person who can make a play on Paris potentially, and the other players may actually want them to. I mean, it's not out of the question for Germany here. I feel like Italy had this if they took Portugal here.
Right.
But by leaving and not making your move now on Austria, I don't know if you have the time to make it effectively. Man, that's tough. It's tough. It could be a split top. It could very easily be a split top here.
Actually, I was a little about to say that. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a three-way split top, funnily enough, on 10.
Three-way?
Yeah.
Where's
Four-way
Italy?
draw, three-way split top. Right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, for four-way draw, three-way split top.
Okay. Wait, but where's Italy gonna get the dots to be part of a split top?
Brest and Portugal.
Ankara.
Yeah, who gets Ankara is the probably biggest question down the stretch. Somebody needs to get that.
Yeah, if someone gets Ankara, then I think that person wins the game.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll put Italy or Austria ahead of the other. It'll put one of them at 11, one at 10.
Yeah, Germany's not going to win then.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was an untimed game, I think Italy probably wins. But in Germany would be in a lot more trouble. But given the fact that, and as with Austria, because Austria has very little places to grow. But given that it's a timed game ending in 1912, I think Germany can survive on 10, possibly 11, without getting collapsed anywhere for 3 years.
Well, he's down to 10 now. He's pulling.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, yeah. I think he can survive on 10 for a time.
Should have blown up Helgoland for I don't know. I've said that too many times, but
No, you haven't said enough times because he really should have blown up Helgoland.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the top was in the bag if he did that. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but good enough. We should probably see winter. I think we'd
It'd be pretty funny if there's no agreement down the stretch on Ank, Paris, and Eddie, and all three of them just survive somehow.
But I do like the idea of stalling for a little time now, Pixie, because talking about Ankara and Paris, we don't want the players who are currently playing to hear that.
Do you like the pull of London?
Oh, but we're not streaming though.
Oh, we're not streaming. I was just recorded.
Okay.
Yeah, no, my laptop would die if I try to stream. So this is.
That is a good point, though.
Go on.
Yeah,
I don't think this is right. I think Liverpool should have gone. London is London could have been of use. Liverpool is not going to be of any use now. England's just going to go take it, right? If he can.
Oh, Liverpool can help North and Eddie or keep stability there. So
I guess.
I mean, you're just yielding that you're not going down the game with London, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is this is similar to the St. Petersburg South Coast disband, right? You're disbanding something where you're going to lose the same center next year. But I think I do agree. You'd rather force either the army to walk and stay in Liverpool, England's army, or Edinburgh to walk all the way around while you threaten Eddie, because it just keeps England occupied and might keep London alive for another year.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter that much. Like either way, it's not a comfortable position to play as Germany. So, but it's the one you find yourself in, and very interesting to see what Austria will do next.
They're gonna walk into Venice in the spring.
Might.
Might, because like what Piedmont's gonna
Italy
go
self bounces, they could blow up Tyrolia.
Not to keep suggesting Adams.
To be fair,
Why not do it? I guess like like if we can pull it off, go for it.
there's a decent chance it would get in, right? If Piedmont
Yeah.
goes to Marseille and Tyrolia takes a shot at Munich, and then you can just walk into Venice.
I think I would
And
force
Italy-
Tyrolia because I think they're going to self bounce in Venice.
You think of self-bounce? Wow.
I do.
Oh, let's see. Who's
They are
right?
playing. They're playing the West slow. That's a decent guess, actually. Yeah. Yeah. They predicted that. I would agree.
Okay, he didn't
Load
self-bounce.
up, but still.
He just covered it, which is probably the right move. Good for Italy.
Yeah, good for Italy. I mean, now Italy can lock up the land border forever.
Yeah. This actually, I should have advocated this. This is when I advocate for my personal peculiarity, which is waiving builds. I think if Austria had waived Budapest,
Agreed.
Might have
You
been
could have
nice.
had like a nice little fleet Trieste build and create some chaos there.
because Italy has shown, hey, look, you got me. Maybe let's be friends for another year. You waive that build. Maybe you build enough trust to walk into Trieste in another year.
Yeah, I like that idea. And it's
mean-
like, if you want to take on Italy, you want to have a build-in pocket to build a fleet in Trieste at some point anyway. So
But something
He doesn't need a fleet in
Vienna's
Trieste. He walks
guaranteed.
into Ionian right now if he wants.
he could,
Trieste
or
is
he can
guaranteed.
force Khan though.
That's true. Italy did sort of two minds this to an extent. Like if you think they're gonna walk into Venice, more things need to be heading home than
Yeah.
just Piedmont.
Yeah.
It's just a massive hedge over here. And now, I mean, Austria has Ionian Sea if he wants. It's a hard call because you could force Smyrna, you could force Khan. It's true.
Yeah.
Italy taking London, I don't know if I like either. That sort of overextends them.
It's the
It
kind of
does,
position
but
where he
I-
might
I
just
think
chill
it's
there
not a
until
good
the end
idea.
of the game. So.
And like
Yeah.
it does let them get the fleet like built in Naples, like that I think will be critical to them. I don't think it's necessarily terrible. I think the real question is, does Italy know that they don't own Portugal?
He supported
It's a
himself
very
out
tiny
of it
color.
last year, so probably, right?
I mean, like
Very
if
tiny.
he's like blue-green colorblind, like maybe he just doesn't know that he doesn't own Portugal.
It's true. They have colorblind settings on Backstabber, but you got to click them.
Okay.
But anyway, Austria's got this board top wrapped up, right?
It's just boring. Like
Depends how Italy reacts here. Italy could give it to Germany too,
Yeah.
but Austria's position looks very good. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting that Germany gambled on St. Petersburg there and won the
Yep.
gamble.
Again, it's good tactics by Germany. Like Germany has been doing solid-ish tactics all game except for the turn that he didn't blow up Helgoland. I
Yeah.
feel like that might have just been the mistake that cost him the game, but
They lose Norway now though, if anyone wants it.
yeah, England has a lot of choices here. Like, look, there's all these juicy dots. Do you cover Eddie? Do you go for London? Do you go for Norway? Who knows?
You got to build, right? So
I mean, there's no way Italy doesn't take Portugal this time, right? You desperately need to build.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Italy finally
Yeah, it's
takes
England.
Portugal.
I tap Liverpool again. Yeah, because then you can support yourself into Eddie the next year if you need to, and then you're clearing out your
Mhm.
home dots. If they don't
Oh,
move,
yeah.
you got to build. Yeah.
A little disappointed Smyrna didn't try to support cut Aegean.
Good brief.
Yeah,
England has to pull
I'd
now.
have gone for a double cut there. Like make him pull Aegean into one of those centers. That way you don't have to deal with the fleet
Buys you time.
really walking to Ionian at some point, being a threat to Ionian ever. Gives you the jump. If you want to go into Greece or force your way into Aegean, it gives you options. With this, gives Austria a complete driver's seat.
Surprised there wasn't a self-bounce in Trieste. But that might be mind games against thinking Italy will think that you do that, and then... Well, actually, no, there's no harm in Venice
Yeah.
supporting Tyrolia to Trieste here, no matter what.
Like, at least I would give him the option to build fleet like Trieste. Like, I'm not sure why he doesn't go for that either.
Great tactics by Germany in the north again, too. Cutting Skag
Yeah. Yep.
Brilliantly done.
That's so brutal for England, but
and Germany might have the inside track here again now.
yeah.
They've
They
set
are
up
still on 10.
Yeah,
That's true.
But guys,
does Austria have the win like basically locked up? Is there something I'm missing?
Germany?
No, doesn't Austria have this locked up? Like,
The
Austria,
question is how does Austria
I think
lose a
Germany's
dot,
going to
right?
get this.
Or
Because
how does Germany outtake them? That's the question.
Like,
they're going to get
where
everything,
does
though,
the
because Italy's
12 where's the
down to
12
1 unit and Italy's retreating.
Austrian dot come from? Sorry, 12 German dot come from? Because Austria's going to get Constantinople this turn. I'll put them at 11. They'll get Smyrna almost certainly next turn. I'll put them at 12. Possibly Ankara as well. They'll get them 13. Like, I'm just not seeing where Germany gets these new dots from. Like, they have a lot of the dots that they're going to get. Like, they'll get Paris.
I think Germany's going to get to 14. I
They
think
took
they're going to get
Portugal.
everything in the west except Iberia. Because Italy's pulling everything back now. And England's on 1 unit.
Yeah, 1 center.
Paris is going to fall. I mean, who's going to resist them? They're just going to walk into places.
I don't think they get Iberia from Italy. I think
No, they won't get that, but they'll get the other 14 dots.
Oh yeah, sure.
Why would he get London? Why should Italy move that fleet back? Like, it's not going to get home in time to do anything useful. It's just
They
going to.
won't, but they have time to get there, I think.
Maybe. I mean, the only way I don't see Austria winning is if Italy decides, like, hey, I'm pissed off at Austria. I want Germany to get the top and just walks out. Like, that's the only way I see it.
No, hold up. There's 2 years left in this game. London is not going to get back to the Italian homeland. Like, if every move of it succeeds, it can go back.
No. So what I'm saying is, like, Italy needs to say, like, no, like, fuck you, like, Austria, like.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was taking the unit from Germany.
Yeah.
It took the unit from Germany too, right? So Germany, they would have gotten a build, right, if London wasn't taken.
Yeah.
They get that build, that's another fleet, and then they maybe do top. So that's interesting.
I think it's either 13-13 Germany, Austria, or I could still see 14 for Germany, but London is the big question.
Well, I think it'll be 13-12 Austria.
Do Italy and Austria hate each other enough for Russia to survive this game?
No.
Sad.
Austria can kill Italy fast enough that it doesn't make a difference.
Okay,
wait, no. Constantinople should do the Black Sea. Never mind. There's a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah. Long live Russia. I hope you live long and prosper as much as you can. Wait, North and Skag both come off the board? Did I miss something?
Yeah, Portugal and
Portugal
and
North
Denmark.
Is England.
Yeah.
Right, of course. Oh crap! I went ahead too far. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't click the return button. You have to click the next. No, I didn't see anything. I'm very bad at seeing.
I don't think that turn even adjudicated yet, so there might have been nothing to see.
Ah, cool.
I guess we'll find out something here. If London bounces north, then they're not on Germany's side. But if they let Germany into north, then this could still go to Germany.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good reason to like disband North Sea as well, right? Because you're signaling, like you're making it clear to Italy, like where do you stand, Because if Italy's not on your side, you're not making it anyway, right? So, yeah.
That's a good point.
That's a good call by England.
I mean, I would bounce North Sea if I were Italy, just because that's the way I roll. But you guys might be right. That maybe is not the best call. People get pissed. People get pissed when I bounce them out of places and they attack me. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Burgundy is sliding down to Gascony here, right?
I assume so, yeah.
Why would
France
Brest
that
not go to Gascony? Does Brest have anything to do other than go to Gascony?
Or Picardy?
Huh?
Actually, no. I take that back. If I'm Germany, I support myself into Picardy because.
Yeah, that's unlikely.
Because why on earth did Brest not go to Gascony? Because Picardy could just freely retreat in Paris, might move to Paris. Like, yeah, no, there's no reason not to.
I mean, it's quite
covering Gascony is smart, but
here,
like, yeah.
It's mind game, right? Like Brest support hold Picardy, and then Germany just walks into Paris. Like
Yeah.
that's not very.
Yeah, Picardy to Paris, Brest to Gascony makes sense as the orders to me.
Actually, but they're a little thin in the center. Germany is though, to an extent. So I think actually they might just try to walk into Paris.
Whatever you say, Yoda.
Yeah, spin the wheel. What do we think? They all counter each other. So
It's like flipping coins when you try to predict tactics. It's like, this is what I think they should do, but they're never going to do that.
I'm calling my shot. Brest to Gascony, Picardy to Paris.
I'll take the walk into Paris. Yeah.
All right. Let's see which one it is.
Oh!
Picardy to Belgium is incorrect. It's
Yeah,
over
That's
and
true.
Just like categorically a bad order. Like, well, what does it prevent?
Bad.
Like, you know.
bad.
That's true.
Man.
Like,
It's just-
there is nothing that Picardy to Paris, Picardy to Belgium does. Like,
No.
if Belgium
Oh my God.
supports, like, you know, well then
We're
it's
paying
not-
attention to the wrong side of the map.
Belgium and
Oh, wow.
Moscow. Moscow.
Wait, what?
This is- I don't-
Moscow.
Moscow. I can't tell what's left and right or east and west, but that
You
way.
gotta be kidding me.
That way.
Okay.
Oh, but
He
Seren,
just-
rest in
He
peace,
has
Russia.
just thrown the board top back to Germany, right? This is Germany's top.
Yeah, this is Germany's top
That's
now.
it.
I don't know what
Yep.
Austria is thinking with that move.
Wow.
Why does
Wow.
Austria
I'm
even
not sure if
care
Austria
about
is
Prussia?
like a mile too clever, or like I don't know.
No, I think that they think they outthought themselves. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I think they're just like way too clever for themselves.
Because you're not gonna honestly, with Italy no longer being your friend, you're not competing for Berlin, right? You're
Yeah.
not competing for Munich. What you're doing is holding your line, getting your dots, seeing what shakes out in the north.
Well, Germany wins now. GG.
Easily.
I
Sev
mean-
could fall here too. Like,
Yeah, that could fall.
why would Moscow go to Livonia rather than Sev?
I don't know. Like if I'm moving Moscow down, but that's exactly where it's going.
Going to Seb would also have been bad. Like it should just have.
It's bad, but like now you can't cover Sev with that unit. Like taking it out of range of Sev.
Livonia can only be to try to bounce St. Pete to Livonia. Like that's the only reason it might ever be written. But if that's what you're worried about, just order Moscow to St. Pete. Like it achieves
Just keep
more
Livonia there.
with much less risk. So,
Right, you're playing for 2 years, right? So you just need
Yeah.
to slow it down, you know, and then you can pull back to Ukraine. You can support Livonia back into Moscow next year and just be like, oh, whoopsies. Well, if you had another year, you would have got me.
Oh, this hurts. If you're Austria, this is not
Yeah.
It
good.
really hurts. Especially because
Russia, though.
right in the
He
south.
can't even retake Moscow. He just
Turkey.
can't retake Moscow. It's so bad.
Hurts most
Tiroli and
for Russia,
Galicia
though.
accomplished absolutely nothing. Like, don't self-bounce when they can support themselves in. I don't know why you would. Wow.
Yeah, this is Germany's top now.
Wow.
But Italy did bounce North Sea, so.
Yep,
they're
and
still-
England lives. England is living this year.
Yeah.
Good for him.
We'll
So
make it through next
Let's
week.
see, there's 3 tempo left. You support yourself in the north, you move to Norwegian. Yeah, Eddie's still going to fall, but it's
yeah,
going to be down.
I support myself in north. No way to north. Support.
they should not let England live. Like from a perspective of points. Like,
Yeah.
but France, this is totally self-inflicted. Like, I think he would have survived if he had just, ordered to Gascony and Paris. He would have survived the game, I'm pretty sure. But
I think that guarantees a survival, actually.
does it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
If Italy doesn't
think
mess
it's
with you.
actually Guaranteed.
No, you'd be down to 1, and then Germany could support his other unit to follow behind, and Brest falls, unless Italy messes with Germany.
Well, we were assuming support into Picardy, right? So Picardy, Burgundy, and then then you're in Gascony.
Oh, yeah, it's not guaranteed.
And in Bray,
It's
so that you
very
support
likely
yourself.
that's guaranteed.
Yeah,
It
it's a
would've-
guess.
You lose the Brest guess,
Yeah.
and then you lose the Paris guess, then you would be.
Yeah. It wasn't guaranteed survival, but if he'd done those orders, then after that turn, he'd have had guaranteed survival.
Yeah.
Germany can't take you out in 3 turns. If you bounced him in Paris, then yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay, so rest in peace, France, I guess. It's just, wow. You must be so happy of your Germany. This is just one turn where everyone loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the other hand, well, hold on. Last question.
Okay, last
Does
thing.
Spain go to Mao to support hold Brest?
No.
I don't think so.
No, he shouldn't. Absolutely not.
I don't like Portugal going to Spain to begin with this turn. Mao is free. You could have just gone to Mao. You can do more or less.
Well, what can you do from Spain that you can't do from Mao besides support hold Marseille?
I mean, I guess he was afraid of Germany going into Gascony and Burgundy, right?
Yeah.
Like assuming
Yeah,
that France would not bounce Gascony and Germany just goes in. I don't know. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's rationale.
It's playing scared, and Germany is preying on the other players doing that.
Mhm.
I guess the extension of that though is then why not send Turanian to Lyon and not support yourself into Ionian?
Yeah.
But the question asking, what's the advantage of guaranteeing Ionian here? I'm not sure.
I guess you can tap Greece and make.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can tap Greece.
With only 3 turns after this left, I don't think it makes as much sense. More time.
It's not like Aegean's going to
Yeah,
bounce
yeah.
anyway. They're going to deal with Turkey.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, there's no chance of that bouncing. So
It'd be interesting to see like if Germany, Italy tries to sneak into Adriatic and try to pull something that way. I don't know.
Well,
I think it
Italy
looks
did not
better
play
than it
board
is.
topping moves. Yeah. Okay. Can I go to
I
fall?
think
yeah.
Oh
Oh,
crap!
oh my
I
God.
forgot about that again. Okay.
Oh, why did you put Norway in North?
Russia. Oh no, Russia couldn't have lived. Never mind.
No.
Russia could have lived.
Black
With
to
no-
Ank and Russia would have lived. It would have been
Yeah.
funny living on 0 units. Oh well.
I disagree with Greece. That's
This is called this is called hope chess, right? But hope diplomacy, hope tactics. Like it's never getting in, but you try anyways because you hope that. Right?
Better off going to Aegean, Ionian, and then
probably
putting
do get
black and
Trieste
brown.
next year if you do make that move.
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, what you're saying is, oh, I hope like Russia, or I'm sorry, Austria is like, I care about Constantinople more than covering Greece. So you take the 1-for-1 exchange, you retreat to Aegean.
Yeah.
But that position is not
there.
great. That's
If you're
not
going to
good
do
at
that
all.
move, you have to support Khan to Bulgaria East Coast.
Agreed.
These
yes.
are the orders that guaranteed Italy could not lose both Khan and Greece. It guaranteed that he would either keep Khan or he would get Greece. This was the only way to guarantee it. So it makes a lot of sense from that perspective.
Well, yeah, the same thing. If you go Khan to Bulgaria East Coast, you keep a dot.
I guess.
That's a better dot.
Bulgaria East Coast is a better dot than Khan.
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
Keep going around the.
For retake value, it's harder for Austria to get you back out. Well, they're going to retreat to Serbia then. Yeah.
Can't retreat to Serbia as a fleet.
The Austrian army.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a rabbit hole.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
I think sending Ionian to Adriatic was the right move there. Set it before the turn, hit after the turn.
I mean, it looks better with Germany and Tyrolia.
Yeah.
Looks really good now. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Right.
I don't think Austria pulls, right? Because he took Ankh. Yeah. Austria's even with position to take back Moscow, so it's not all's not lost. Germany builds 2. France disbands. Italy's even. One more year. Who gets the board top?
It's got to be
What?
Germany.
What are the numbers? Let's see. Eddie's guaranteed.
Moscow's guaranteed for Austria.
Moscow.
Ours isn't guaranteed, but it's likely.
Wait, how is it not guaranteed?
Yeah,
Italian meddling.
No,
Holy
it's
shit.
guaranteed, like tactically, this turn. Right?
No.
Kill covers were Munich into Burgundy support from Belgium. If you could try to retreat weird. It's a guess, kind of, about like does Mao tap Ray? I think.
Yeah, if Mass has Brest, like, he could be in trouble.
Because then it's like France can choose to hold, and if Ray doesn't move, you retreat to Paris, and then it's it's up to the Italian. The Italian.
Austria's gonna pick up Moscow, and Austria's gonna pick up Caen. And if he doesn't do anything wrong, but Germany might pick up Vienna. So now that's okay. Italy can king make because Germany can pick up Vienna. So
Surprisingly messy.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
For an AIG, it's very messy. I mean, because AIG is infamous for everyone just pushing into the corners and then leaving each other alone forever.
Yeah.
Zero chance of
This is not a normal AIG. This is an AI versus G. Like, this is the very normal web.
No, it's an A versus I versus G.
Yeah, exactly. It's A versus I versus G, honestly.
Yep.
Featuring England and France as extras, more or less.
I mean, it was more like England and France being the Three Stooges than anything else.
These
Really
teams
not.
play
Does
so
Italy make a
slowly,
play
right?
on the West here? They can make a play on Liverpool or Brest.
How does he make a play on Liverpool?
London to
Wales
Wales.
and Irish.
Oh. Italy can make a play on Liverpool. But why? I mean, I
It's
suppose.
too risky for them. I don't think it would be a good idea.
I don't think it's terrible.
I-
Well,
I-
actually,
I think
well,
the
Denmark's
Brest
going to end up in
is-
North
is-
Sea.
is
That's
much
right.
stronger, like, in my opinion. The only issue with the play on Brest, though, is that, like, you do disincentivize Germany from taking out Paris, which is good for you, and that you want the opposing player not to get those 10 points or whatever it is for free.
Oh yeah, that might be. Like, I mean, if you're Italy here, you're trying to tie up Germany and Austria, right? Like, I mean, get them to tie, however you can.
Yeah.
They're going to the deadline every turn. It's definitely slow boat. I wonder who the culprit is, but
Slow boat.
just remember, guys, the only thing that matters is speed. Quality of the orders is secondary.
Have you ever watched the movie Speed, Seren?
I have not.
Great movie. Highly recommend. Just
Great
watched it
period.
again.
Great period. Wow.
It was a good movie.
Mm-hmm. Do not watch Speed 2, but just watch the original Speed.
What is it about?
It's about it's basically like a cop movie where, or like a counter-terrorist movie, I guess, where Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves are trying to prevent a bus from exploding. And in order to keep the bus from exploding, they need to keep the bus going greater than 15 miles per hour at all times.
Oh.
It sounds very odd, but trust me. Like actually like a good, like critically well-reviewed movie.
Check it out. Sounds interesting. Adjudication is paused. Well, let's see what's up here.
I guess while adjudication is paused, I'd like to take this time to shout out PBS. It's made possible just like this podcast by viewers like you. Support public broadcasting, man. Come on.
Do I get a tote bag for participating?
You can buy a tote bag for participating.
That's fair.
From the looks of it, says Ed, 3 or 4 people have issues with tech.
Oh, so maybe it's like a legitimate just like issue with Backstabber then if 3 or 4 people are having issues.
I haven't seen the dip assist error before, but I don't play Backstabber that much, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh, it's because
Oh,
it
that's
happens
because like
whenever
the timer's
it's
cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are you guys playing whipping? Or I guess mostly Karthik, because I don't know if the rest
Oh, yeah, I like dip assist a lot. It's super, super nice.
Wait, are you playing whipping?
Whipping? No, I'm commentating whipping. I
Oh,
think.
you're commentating it. Okay, interesting. Yeah, if Pixie or Eustachio want to jump into whipping, and I can throw you a big board top. We can do that.
Don't think you should be saying that on air, Seren.
Oh crap. Okay, I take it back. I will not be throwing anyone board tops.
I decline whatever legal assistance.
Yeah, I'll be trying my best to achieve the best score possible in this tournament.
You just cut this out in post, and but make sure to leave the PBS shout out in, because that is
Right. Okay, they've adjudicated. Let's go.
sweet.
See what we got. Interesting. Oh wow, Tyrolia to Piedmont. That was a nice call. Albania.
Huh.
It's a decent job by Austria, actually. With the Moscow stuff, they're recovering a little bit.
I'll give credit to Germany for attempting a set of orders that could have a plausible chance of defending against it. It didn't work, but at least it was a good set of orders. Constantinople falls as expected.
We do want to point
Another
out
thing
that the
about it.
German orders in England leave him again with a 50-50 in the fall.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Liverpool should have supported North Sea.
Germany's
Yeah.
orders except for that region.
Like,
And
okay, you
like
have Denmark
too.
sitting idle here. You're not using Denmark. Just send north to Eddie and Denmark can backflow north. Like, why would you not do that?
Yeah,
I-
I'm not sure.
This is very...
That's very strange.
Oh man, why do you
Did
leave
they?
it 50-50?
But on the plus side, though, we should also point out that Greece is now guaranteed for
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Austria ends on 12. With Greece going down, right? Plus 2
Possibly
minus
why.
1. And
Congo's
West
Eugene.
is still a mess. Germany is going to lose Moscow. They're gaining Paris. They might gain Marseille.
Honestly, I'll be quite disappointed if England is the one who lives here when Russia died after holding out valiantly for so many years.
Yeah, Russia deserved to survive more than England.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you think that Italy makes the order of Venice support Marseille to Piedmont properly, or do you think they do something else? Because that would save them there. That would save Marseille, but
Right.
we
Well,
do the order.
I mean, it's a
if
50-50.
Marseille, no, I don't think it saves Marseille because I would drop
50-50.
Burgundy down probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like I think if
But yeah,
I'm
that's the order.
Germany, like, I think the more likely order is the one where Burgundy isn't the mover. But we'll see.
This is just,
Venice
it's just
to
the
Piedmont
Princess
is just
Bride,
an
right?
obvious, play like that. I would want that not to be the obvious counter. It may make Italy think a little bit.
It's the thing where you high elo players always think that the brace is the better one because they don't expect a brace. But then when they start expecting that, because you're gonna think that's the play to make, then it starts going the other way, and then all hell breaks loose, and we have.
I should admit, I've been guessing wrong on everything lately, so don't take my advice.
Okay, for the people in the back of the room, a guess is a guess is a guess is a guess. You can analyze it however way you want. It is guess. And that's my philosophy.
Probability, Seren. Like certain guesses succeeding are more likely than others. Like theoretically, like you could guess that Bohemia will tap Vienna here and make a play for Trieste. Is that guess likely to succeed? Probably not. But other guesses on the board far more likely to succeed and work in your favor.
Okay, well, I mean, a 50-50 guess is a 50-50 guess. How about that?
But is it a 50-50 is the real question. Like you assign probabilities, and yes, 50-50 is equal to 50-50, but is it 50-50?
I think
There's
no
a
matter
lot
what
of
we
luck in
think,
diplomacy, and the experts are all wrong.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, let me rephrase. I wouldn't say it's all luck. There is luck. I would say it is not deterministic, but I wouldn't say that luck plays. There are no dice rolls. There's no chance.
All right, Speaking of guesses, if you're Germany here, do you cover Liverpool or do you hold an Eddie? And if you're England, I mean, vice versa, if you're England, you go to Eddie or you go to Liverpool?
If I'm England, I go for Eddie. If I'm Germany, I hold.
Yep, because that's exactly what happened like 5 or 6 years ago or whatever with Liverpool. And I would expect England to flip and be like, I bet that you will flip, so I won't change. So yeah, I'm with Karthik. I'm with Karthik 100%.
Ah, the wine in front of me. Let's get the Princess Bride out.
Yep,
Guaranteed.
wine in front
I'm
of
going
me.
to say Brest to Paris, then Burgundy to Marseille gets Germany 2 dots. And that'll be enough.
Let's see, they've adjudicated. So
Does
who
Paris
is
come
right?
Burgundy though? Is the thing. They don't.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Edinburgh and Yorkshire.
Aces. Aces. What a turn.
Wow. Italy
Well-
made the
Austria
play
said-
that look good. And oh, wow.
I guess you guys know how to guess after all.
Amazing.
Austria
Amazing.
said, I don't want the board top. Because
Wait.
Italy
Germany didn't even
sucks.
support themselves into Marseille. They just tapped
They
us.
walked in. They walked in.
Just as Eustachio said. Burgundy taps Marseille, Edinburgh holds.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I misread.
Oh, man.
Well, no, that's what I said too there. No, but what you... Italy, oh my God.
No, Karthik, you said that Italy should do this, and it was wrong.
Yeah. But Eustachio said that Piedmont was going to support Burgundy to Marseille. Piedmont didn't even support. It just tapped Venice.
Yeah, so Bray was always going to Paris, right? Or sorry, Brest was always going to Paris, right? Because you know the way the Italians look in here,
Yeah.
they're taking Brest. So if that happens, then you do move Burgundy, I think. Yeah.
You know, actually, I have to give...
Although Cough Ink channel should have gone to Belgium.
I think I have to give Germany a lot of credit for that play there. Because what they're doing here is if... did Bohemia tap Vienna?
No.
Oh, no, they didn't. Never mind. If Bohemia tapped Vienna, I would say that was like IQ level 3000 genius because it allows for them to pick up an extra dot that they wouldn't be entitled to if a specific set of orders occurs. So Bohemia tapping Vienna would allow Albania supporting Venice to Trieste to succeed.
Yeah.
And it would get him both Marseille and Venice.
That's a good
And
point.
functionally, it is equivalent to Piedmont supporting Burgundy to Marseille, assuming Italy is a competent player, because there's really only two moves that we made here to defend Marseille. Either Venice taps Piedmont, or Venice supports Marseille to Piedmont, which happened. And in such a case, Burgundy to Marseille succeeds and will be functionally equivalent there. So kudos to the German there. That's smart thinking.
Germany has been guessing like Pez all game.
Huh. They get the 50-50 right, and they eliminate all the other players. Man.
I think he got all the 50-50s. Like, Germany didn't miss a single 50-50. Like, he put himself
All
in
they
a
missed was
position-
Helgoland, right?
That was not a 50-50.
That
was
was a 1 out of 5.
Helgoland was a mistake, and this was also a mistake right here. This was supporting Liverpool into Eddie is just a mistake. It forces you to make a guess where you shouldn't
They
have
made
to
some
guess.
errors, but they
But it doesn't matter because he just guesses right anyways, because that's the way he likes to play.
like guessing Moscow. Oh my goodness. That was the move of the game.
Yeah. Just the friggin' excitement for this Germany. He decides he's gonna guess when he doesn't have to, just so that he can
I think Germany just
We
wants
get to find out who's who yet?
Everyone else.
No, we don't find out until after the second game, but we can guess if you guys want to
Oh,
guess.
that's smart.
Do we have the roster list for everyone?
I don't think it processed yet. There's
Well,
retreats.
they should just be pausing it, right? Because you can't end it, because then you would see who.
Oh, right. Because
Country.
there's another game.
But they should pause it in winter to let the supply center counts catch up.
Right.
That is true. Yes, send that message. Thank you, Seren.
But
Oh, we can hear the typing. Anyway.
I mean,
England
can
should
you
have gone.
imagine how
Belgium.
smart Germany would look
Belgium was
that
open.
if the order to Venice succeeded because the Bohemians having Vienna and Albania supporting Venice and Trieste? That'd be like amazing.
Karthik, I want to live in your reality.
I do want
just
to
to
live in
say,
your reality.
I want to live in your reality. That would have been a great reality.
The optimism, just that optimism. It's the kind of Karthik play. Like this is like a 1 in, I don't know, 1 in like 21 to put a number on it, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
And you're right. It makes more sense from Italy because Black Sea is not making it anywhere. Aegean should support itself into Greece.
Right.
Albania isn't doing anything else. You're completely correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, there's no way I come up with that, like, under the pressures of playing in the game with only 5 minutes left. But in, like, a 24-hour gunboat game or something like that, I can see it.
So,
I mean, that's your job as a commentator, right? Is to point out all the fringe plays that might just have worked and then look like you're smart for having seen it, when the player probably saw it as well, but just didn't do it because it was a fringe play with like a 1 in 21 chance of working.
Yeah, but when it succeeds, you look like a genius, so you have to go for it.
That's true. That's true. It's like how you
one
have
time
to
it works.
you have to do the reverse convoy. Like reverse convoy anywhere. Like if it's open, you have to try it because you look like a god.
No, when like if I'm in Bosnia and like St. Petersburg is under any risk, I'm convoying that like guy to Finland. Like no doubt.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll never have BFTF success, but I've convoyed Marseille to Spain, and that's what counts.
So they posted the scores in the Discord channel. It'll be 37.83 points for Germany for 13 supply centers. Austria with 12 at 33.33 points, and then Italy at 9 for 28.83 points, and then everybody else at 0. It's going to be hard to catch any of them tomorrow or whenever they play game 2. Then we'll have 4 desperate players on that board looking for.
I want to give everyone credit for eliminating everyone else. Like, like incredibly well done. Like this looks like a good gunboat board. Like 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a good gunboat endgame board. That's what I want to see.
I feel so sad, Karthik, that your definition of good is when they kill off the weak.
Yeah, of course.
But in this situation, it makes sense though. Like you're
exactly.
not just whittling the draw; you're whittling your competition for the championship.
Exactly.
Well, again, for the listeners, I hate draw whittling, and I don't do it. So remember that.
I do hate it as well.
Yeah, no, I hate it as well. But like, I mean, given the way that the tournament scored, you have to do it.
Yeah. For the score.
Well,
yeah.
and that's why I like scoring systems that aren't zero sum, because every zero sum system encourages draw whittling, but it's what it is. You have to play the system. So.
Actually, I take that back. I don't like whittling in press because I feel bad when I do it, but I don't mind it in gunboat because it's the one thing I need to talk to and apologize to after the game.
Yeah.
I think I agree.
And for however much, like, Seren says he doesn't like draw size whittling, I'm pretty sure she whittled me in one of the gunboat games we played.
When? I let you live. I let you live
going.
when you had no right to live in Portugal and Spain.
Oh yeah, that was nice though. I did appreciate that one.
I just looked at it and I said this position is dead, but Karthik asked me to draw, so I'm gonna draw as one does.
Cut and dry, it seemed earlier.
Okay. All right. Do we have anything else? All right.
Should have blown up hell, right? Like
Yeah.
reviewing should have blown up hell.
Whoa.
Austria should have stabbed Italy for a con in 05.
Yep. Defenestration award. We gotta be
England
Oh
or
yeah,
France for that.
defenestration. Right. We have to give the award.
England and France.
France, right? I think
France.
unanimous
I vote
France.
France.
Yeah.
England was competitive there, but the second half of the game, England, I think, made.
If France made the
reasonable
moves to save
decisions.
themselves at the end, then I would have given it to England. But yeah, France.
Oh yeah. Because France also didn't go to Gascony there. Like that's doubly bad. But I think England saved themselves enough with the clever plays with Helgeland. And most of it was Germany's making mistakes. But
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool to see England actually have some impact on the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Okay. Enjoy your journey out of the window, France. And we'll be back in game 2 for everyone.
Sounds good.
Toss out the window.
All right, I gotta pop off here.